You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
Welcome to the Pitching the Truth podcast. My name is Gregory Paul, and it is my honor to share with you how the truth can lead to stronger relationships, better communications, wealth, and happiness. Come with me each week as I share lessons and insights that I and others have learned through the power of truth. You will reflect, ponder, laugh, and even sometimes cry. But I promise you will learn how to improve your life to become a stronger and better person. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pitching the Truth podcast. My name is Gregory Paul, and I'll be your host today as we dissect the truth and how it affects us every day in our lives. Today, I want to talk about owning your shit. Owning your shit meaning owning your own faults, owning all of the mistakes that you make, all the things that you've done in the past, the people you've hurt, the lies that you tell every day. Recently, I've reconnected with an old coaching client on LinkedIn, and she mentioned to me, after I told her the title of my book, The Truth About Lies, How Admitting Nothing Can Cost You Everything, and about this podcast, Pitching the Truth, that she's experienced quite a bit of an influx of people that just are unhappy, negative, just not positive at all because they can't seem to get past their own problems and their own faults. And they like to pass their problems and faults to other people. You see, these people can't be held accountable for their own mistakes, so they go ahead and dump them on other people. And I've run into that quite a bit in my life. And it's become a big problem because I'm a fixer, right? I like to jump in there and repair things. I like to help people. I like to try to help them sort their problems. But that can be a very, very toxic situation for a person like me if I get involved in a relationship with somebody that is perpetually unhappy and has problems to fix on their own. More importantly, if they can't face their own problems, face their own crap, then they become a real big drag in my life, a time suck. So let me give you an example. I have obviously committed some pretty horrible acts against people and crimes that I'm not proud of. But every single day, I try to make sure that I'm doing something positive. I'm trying to help other people. I'm trying to be positive and moving forward. But more importantly, I make sure that I tell everybody exactly who I am, what I've done, and what I'm working on. I don't want anybody ever to think that I don't own my shit. I don't own what happened to me. I don't own the people that I hurt. I don't own the community that I hurt. I try to own all of that. I try to acknowledge that every day. Now, what I found in going through this process and what I found with a lot of other people I've run into recently is that when you do it, it's so freeing. It's just absolutely eye-opening how much more time, how much less stress you have in your life, because at the end of the day, nobody can ever judge you because you're admitting who you are and you're emphasizing all of these faults and these bad things about yourself that most people try to hide. You know, we see it every day within social media. People are out posting about their wonderful lives and they're off at this restaurant or they're at this sporting event or they're on vacation, and everything seems wonderful and glassy and happy and wonderful. And I'm happy for those people if that's truly what they're doing. But if they're not being really honest and they're having other major problems and issues that they don't really admit to anybody and they're carrying that inside, eventually it's going to come out. Eventually, if they're really not happy with other aspects in their life, it's going to show up some way in some form someday. So sorry to be a little redundant, but I'm just ranting a little bit here because I'm thinking about all of the people that I want to connect with, all of the things I want to do with my life, how many different voices I have to try to get people to break free from not being directly honest, most importantly with themselves, about how they can improve their life. People walk around and say, oh yeah, I want to lose some weight. Oh, I gotta exercise. I want to lose some weight. And they'll tell you that over and over and over again as they sit down and grab a scone with a cup of coffee for breakfast and, maybe have a piece of dessert after dinner. There's no real effort there, right? But yet they feel it's important to tell you that they are losing weight and they're trying to lose weight and they're going to be making this strong effort, but their actions don't match their words. They're not being honest with themselves. Because honesty would be like, you know what? I like my scone. I like my cake. And yeah, maybe I'd like to lose some weight someday, but right now I'm just happy eating it. That's one example of what I'm talking about when I state that you need to be really honest with yourself and not try to pretend and put a mask up with other people. We see this in relationships all the time. People try to create this persona that they're this person that they're not because they want to be accepted by others. When, maybe the truth is that they're depressed. Maybe the truth is that they're sad. Maybe they don't have a job they really like. Maybe they're not really talking to their family. Maybe they are unhappy where they live. These are all examples of things that are probably a reality in their life. They don't even entrust their closest friends to say, I'm really having a tough time. I really wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. And having that kind of communication and being more direct and honest, especially with people that you trust, leads to help. It leads to opportunity. It leads to having people step up and say, hey, what can I do to help you today? Or maybe we should go take a look at something else. Or maybe you should move in with me. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about going on a diet. Let's go on one together. Let's start working out together. Let's go play tennis together. Let's take a walk together. Let's do something different to try to help each other get out of that rut. And it all starts, people. It all starts by being a little bit direct and honest about what's really bothering you. And I found this to be very powerful in my own relationship. As I've mentioned in previous podcasts, I had to square up with a family member, the woman that I'm dating or engaged to at this point, and also my mother. And just state that, I didn't have any time anymore for the drama and the mistruths about how bad their lives were, what was going on. Because again, as a fixer, I wanted to jump in and try to help. But the reality was all of the stories really weren't what they said to be. They were mistruths. They were half-truths. And guess what that did? That wasted a lot of my time, a lot of my energy. So much time and energy that I just really realized that this is not how I want to live my life. It's not. And since this has been about 2 weeks, and since I've started to really focus to make sure that the people I spend time with are really worthwhile and really helping me, I have found myself to have all this free time. All of a sudden, I'm reading more. My meditations are stronger. I'm podcasting as I do now. I'm writing blogs. I'm trying to build content. I'm trying to connect with people because I have more time because my mind is not crowded by other people's problems because they cannot face their truth. They cannot face their issues. So I'm asking all of you, I really hope that all of you will listen to me and start taking inventory, man. Take inventory about what's going on with other people not owning their shit because they will become a time suck to you. And you're going to find, because you don't realize it by now, especially if you're in the mode of just trying to be helpful and the mode of talking to this person every day, maybe about their same problem, which gets recurred over and over again. I've got a really good friend, talks a lot about his ex-wife, one of my best friends, and we talk about it over and over and over. Now, I know it's helpful for him, and he really does own his crap and admits his weaknesses, so I can tolerate it. But at the same time, when I'm like, dude, we need to stop talking about this and talk about something else, he quickly changes his tune and moves forward because he realizes I'm right. And at the same time, I've been known to loop. I'm a looper. I like to loop back and forth about the same problems, trying to get, things sorted in my life, my kids. And, it's refreshing when somebody says to me, dude, you're saying the same thing over and over again. You're just reframing it. It's time to move on to something else. Own your shit. It's going to lead to higher productivity. It's going to give you more time to figure out what it is you want. Everybody has faults. There's no reason that anybody should sit back and think that they're not perfect like their friend down the street, because I got news for you, nobody is. And it leads to more time, more money, more clarity, and a lot less stress, because you don't walking around anymore holding that inside, holding that fear that you're going to be not accepted, or that fear that somebody's going to turn their back on you. I got news for you. If they turn their back on you, they're really not your friend anyway. So what's the point? Why stick around? It doesn't make any sense. You're better off just going forward by yourself and trying to find the real people. If you have 100 people in your life, say you have 100 Facebook friends and none of them are really real, and you pour your heart out on there online, it's always interesting to see how many people respond. And I think you'd be surprised how many more people would respond if you kind of owned it a little bit and just left it out there. I've seen some incredible speeches in my day, a couple notable ones through Toastmasters at a couple different speech contests that I was a judge at, where one guy admitted to being a pornography addict, like on stage in front of hundreds of people. He mentioned stuff that was just dumbfounding to me, and I'm just looking at him like, oh my God, that guy's just, I got to go talk to him. Because there's a man who owns his shit. There's a man who really realizes his own faults. I spoke on what happened to me and how I devastated so many people and my family by going to prison. Again, people came up and shook my hand, and they looked at me and they said, good for you. I wish you the best. People respect people that are really, really honest. And I think there's a lot of lack of honesty in this world right now. And I think there's a lot of people that really need to step up and take the time to realize how important it is to be direct and honest with everybody. So I'm going to challenge all of you. We're going to have a lot of guests on this podcast speaking on a lot of different topics. But I think what's most important is that we all try to get something out of this. So I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love for you to leave me a review. Send me an email to greg@veracitygp.com. That's veracitygp.com. And I'll be glad to get back to you. Let's open a discussion here. Because I have found, and my friends have found, and my coaching clients have found, when you really start to face your fears and face your faults, all of the wonderful things that you have to offer appear. And you sleep better at night. You have better friends. You have more time for yourself to grow. You make more money in your job. And most importantly, you're more happy. Happier. That's all I got today for Pitching the Truth. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back with you next week. Thank you for listening to the Pitching the Truth podcast. If you absolutely love the podcast, please go to iTunes to rate, review, and most importantly, leave me feedback so that I can try to improve each episode. I appreciate you listening, and until next time, please keep trying to find your own truth.